In a tangled web of betrayal and consequences, the truth remains elusive, justice uncertain. If Maddie's mom, Jen Soto, would be arrested, the community would feel at ease. Stearns is now locked up forever for his heinous crimes against Maddie. How are Deb and Chris Stearns now perceived, almost 2 years later?
Jen Soto, and thank you for being respectful. I don't think I can change anyone's mind. I just want you to understand what I'm saying. All right. And that's all I'm trying to do today. I saw the file name. Oh, really? Hold on. I can't. YouTube has been crazy. So Chris says he saw the file name that was descriptive enough. I wonder what that said. And yes, Deb, you were doxxed 3 times. One of the times being in the new place. Can you imagine moving your whole life, guys? And then a YouTube creator puts out a new video with your new address that you just packed up and moved from, lost a bunch of money, barely making it, and now your new address is out again? I can't imagine that. That's terrible. All right. So got a little bit more, and then I'm going to go over the document.
Hey, what's up?
So what do you guys know?
Huh?
What do you guys know?
I just know what Commander Myers said. They have the 1017 in custody in Orlando. Supposedly we're supposed to come here and interview the mother.
Okay.
See if we can do a protective sweep of the house and maybe ask her questions about if Stephan had access to the storage units today.
All right. Well, that's his car. That car comes back to him.
Okay.
So the other vehicle comes back to Dad, and then Mom is in the house. We just saw her in the front door, and she was out earlier when we were driving by.
Okay.
So
how long have you guys?
Let me know in chat if you guys have seen this. If you guys, I mean, I'm sure the day it came out, everybody jumped over there. Everybody jumped over there. Let me know in chat. Just hit a 1 in chat if you've seen this. I'm going to watch a couple more minutes, and then we're going to move on. But how many people saw it? 1 if you saw it, 2 if you haven't.
Sitting on this.
7-10 minutes.
Oh.
So maybe her camera footage was the one that caught Deb, acting a fool and calling Maddie out in the woods or something, but I haven't seen that yet. Deb is really upset. She tells them she found an F torso, in Stephan's room, and another little toy too. And those photos I did not put up here on YouTube. I didn't see the one toy she mentions, but I did see the torso, and it's silicone. The cop has to verify, wait, what are you talking about? Is she here? He's like basically asking, did you find Maddie? Or she clarifies it's a silicone torso. Ooh, she's like, you don't know what I found.
What?
Okay.
Scared the living shit out of me.
That's the extent of it.
All right, we don't need to watch this part, guys. I'm not here to just make Deb go through this again. I'll drop the link in chat. I see a lot of you guys didn't see it. So there's the link. You guys can go over and watch that on Plunder with that link. She's got a bunch of stuff coming out. Remember, we're here for Maddie. And now I'm going to get into, I only saw part of it too. And that's all I needed to see. Once I saw Deb being upset and all this stuff, I'm like, I don't need to watch that. It's not entertaining. And then I reached out to Deb and said, Deb, in case you haven't seen it yet, there's some new stuff out there. It's pretty bad. You can watch it or not, but just letting you know before, people start attacking again. What's up, Sherry? How you doing? All right, now let's take a look at, and I'll agree with some of the things in the beginning. I definitely felt like there were excuses, but I think the excuses were that of a parent not understanding the gravity of what happened. And I think there was, I'm not going to lie and say that there were no excuses. Yeah, they did. They called you a freaking drama queen, and that was not drama. That was how you felt. That was you having a panic attack or whatever was going on with everything happening. The torso, finding out Maddie was no longer with us. There's a lot. Everyone calls me Bex. What's up, Bex? Welcome to the Crime Crew family. Yeah, it's awful. I'm not going to watch that, but I do want to go through some of these things with you, which I haven't got to go over yet. So I'm happy to do that now. 1 second. And what's better on a Friday than to go over this and have Deb and Chris here and then I can call Chris after, and he can straighten things up. All right. How does Curtis? I don't know. And that's the thing, is like, I want to be better than that too, because I'm sure there's many cases where I do blast people's parents, but I have to remember to make sure that I see all sides, right? All right. So as long as you say something nicely, we're good. Deb blamed Maddie for blurring the lines, and that's AC Frere. That's why I think you just missed the beginning of what we talked about. So maybe you can go back and chat. And I didn't realize that those blurred lines was actually called grooming. So that type of blaming others. Hopefully you can go back and watch context is king. All right. Context is king. And we do all want justice for Maddie. So yeah, come on in, hit that like, be respectful, and you're good. All right. So I'm going to share these documents with you real quick. I didn't need to use these documents before because Chris was so kind to let me call him on the phone and talk to you guys. So I'm going to gloss over this stuff. All right. This was after the live interview. Why are you speaking out now? And that's them now and previously. So now that Stephan has accepted his plea deal and we know his fate, we feel compelled to address questions that continue to arise, including right now. All right. There was no magic bullet defense. His legal strategy was primarily built on challenging the constitutionality of the phone search, which they viewed as technicality rather than a substantive defense for the serious crimes he committed. So once the Sterns realized that the data from the phone was coming in, that was it. That was his strategy. So we want to be clear. Stephan was caught engaging in heinous offenses that had been occurring for far too long. And this is Chris's response. He deserves the punishment he received, and there will be forgiveness from us for his actions. It says there will never, listen, this Chris Stern said, he deserves the punishment he received, and there will never be forgiveness from us for his actions. The evidence was overwhelming, and no legal technicality could change the fundamental reality of what he did, meaning Stephan Sterns. We are now choosing to distance ourselves because we need to move forward with our lives. For years, Stephan manipulated and deceived us. We have made all of the financial and emotional investment in him that we are willing or able to make. At our age, we must focus on what little time we have left rather than continuing to be drawn into his web of lies and manipulation. The practical reality in this will be that he's incarcerated at the facility too far for us to visit regularly. He is the architect of his own fate. These are now the consequences of his choices and his actions. There is nothing we can say now that will harm him legally, and his case is resolved. What frustrates us the most is that we still don't have the complete truth about what happened. Despite all the conversations and his promises to explain, Stephan has continued to be evasive right up until the end. However, we remain determined to seek answers, and if we obtain them, we will share what we learn. And thank you for that, Chris. This has been an extraordinary and painful journey. Like many people, we have observed similar cases from the outside, watching the media coverage and public reaction. Nothing could have prepared us for finding out ourselves at the center of such a tragedy. The betrayal of trust, the shock of discovery, and the weight of association with such terrible crimes has been overwhelming. All right. So listen, if you just jumped in now, you're hearing this, what Chris wrote to me initially before he ever came on the show and talked in his own words. All right. So I hope that the people that challenge Chris and Deborah Sterns and that stand on the narrative that was a year and 5 months ago can understand that a year and 5 months ago has changed quite a lot. A lot of things have changed and we've grown. All right. So I'm going to take a look at chat for a minute. If it's so wrong, nobody wants to raise someone who can do this. In the last few years, these crimes have been coming back. Yeah, there's been so many. Yeah, I'm salty, but Plunder calls me out and gives grace to Chris and wonders why he stayed with me. Maybe she has a crush on it. That's wild. And thank you, AC. Also, I hope you just listened to the comment. This document is from Chris Sterns. This was the document that we made the document. He's the one that wrote it. We put it in a nice format so you guys can all see what's happened since that video and where we are now. All right. And Beck says, Deb and Chris, Deb and Chris, maybe the truth right now would be too tough to handle. Pain equals love, love equals pain. You can't have one without the other. What you can have is time to heal. Exactly. And we hope that Deb and Chris do get the time to heal without people sending nasty death threats to their emails, to their phone, etc. All right. I don't think most people have heard this about the Sterns. I haven't heard it before. And you haven't heard it before because this is a new document that was drafted up a couple of weeks ago by Papa Sterns, Chris Sterns. And this is what he stands on. This is what they stand on. All right. So that's why I'm putting this up there so you can see what I'm writing, or what was written came from him. I'm just reading it. He didn't have to do that. We didn't have to do that because he came on the show and he was very frank with everybody. All right. So I'm going to continue some more. Throughout Stephan's life, we repeatedly told him that a single event, a single decision on a single day could reshape life forever. And my mom taught me the same thing. One wrong move can determine your entire life. We taught him to choose good over evil, right over wrong. He never heeded this guidance. He allowed himself to become involved in all of this. And why he continued down this path for years remains an unanswered question that haunts us. Life is too short, and Maddie's was taken far too early because of his selfish acts, period. Him and Jen. Her innocence was stolen, and God knows what the quality of her life would have been moving forward. All because of the actions of a fundamentally selfish person who continues to focus only on perceived injustices against himself. We're talking about Stephan Sterns, Chris and Deborah Sterns' son. We are done with his whining. What makes this even more infuriating is that Stephan has never once admitted to committing these offenses.